every single practice coming out of flex. All right, doesn't matter what day it is. It doesn't matter if it's an offensive day or a defensive day. It's Monday through Thursday for us. Even on some of our game prep. All right, we'll take a chance and we'll do it. Is a drill. We call it sprint shimmy. Okay, it's basically however you would teach your kids to sprint and come to balance to make a tackle. Right. So, you know, one of the big things in tackling to me in the game of football nowadays is everybody is creating so much space. And on defense, tackling gets worse and worse the more space there is between ball carriers and defenders, right? So one of the most important skills that you can develop tackling the football is closing distance, learning how to sprint and then come to balance, right? So we do a sprint shimmy drill where every player, and I've got 5 drawn up here. Normally we do it with 8 bags because we do it with varsity and JV. They're all together. We don't differentiate between the two. They all come from flex. Straight to the drill. The coaches are on one side, the players on the other. The players are about 8 yards away from the bag. Whistle blows. Every player is going to sprint to close the distance to the bag. Now, this is the important part. All right, you don't want to, get to where it's all about near foot, near shoulder, right? It's all about that shimmy position and how to come to balance. But to me, the first most important part when doing a drill like this is you got to teach kids how to close. We've got to take air out. We've got to close the distance if we want to become better tacklers, because distance is and space is our enemy. All right, on defensive special teams when we are tackling the ball, especially when you're playing some really elite skill players. You don't want them with a lot of space because they will make you miss more often than not, right? So the sprint part is the first part, and that's why we do it at the beginning of practice. We don't do it when they're tired. We do it straight from flex. It's also part of your dynamic warm-up. You're coming straight from flex out of your dynamic warm-up, and then you're getting into this movement right away and some short area bursts and quickness, right? So you all sprint, and head coach will say, hey, right foot. All right, so right foot shimmy. So we're all going to sprint, and when we get to the bag, one of the things we got to make sure is the players have their right foot up and their left foot back as they shimmy down the bag, right? So this is a sprint to the bag, and then when I get to the bag, if it's right foot shimmy, I have to have my right foot up, my left foot back. I've got to sink, lower my level, drop my hips, all right? And then when they get to the end of the bag, the coaches are over here. I want to make sure as a defensive coordinator, when they get to the end of the bag, they're all in a proper position to strike. They've all got their face mask up. They've got the proper foot forward. All right, so if it was a right foot shimmy, and we're saying that the ball carrier is inside to our right, we got to make sure we have that right foot up, our face mask up with our helmet on the left side of the ball carrier, right? So we'll sprint, right foot shimmy, okay? And one of the first things we do early on, especially with younger kids, we start the drill before we ever do anything. We teach the drill from the bag. Put your right foot up, put your left foot back, shimmy down the bag, all right, and end up in a good position with your face mask up. We put them in a position, all right, here's where I want you. I want the right foot there. I want the hips down. I want the face mask up. I want the hands back. Whatever it is that you're teaching with your tackling, we start them from the finished position first, all right? And then once we've taught everybody what the finished position is, then we come back and we say, okay, it's going to be sprint shimmy. And the coach rips the whistle. Here we go. First group, they get out, all right? That group goes there. That group goes around. The next group fills lines in right away, whatever line, it doesn't matter. It's all the same drill. Get the lines filled in, sprint, right foot, shimmy, down the bag. All right, so we'll start every practice with that, and we'll try and reinforce to the players the idea of closing distance, taking air and space away from ball carriers, right? That's the first thing. Now, start